Hello, 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 poopsies. Thank you for joining me. Today is going to be a very different special video. So somebody booked I'm going to leave their name anonymous because they don't want to be revealed, but they gave me permission to post this public. So they booked a 30-minute personalized ASMR video on my website, TonyBomboni.com. The link will be in the description below, as always, if you'd like to book your own. And they wanted a reading. So typically for readings, you could book the ASMR tab, the tarot tab. It doesn't matter really. And then you just tell me in your message form when you book what kind of a video you'd like. So I'm gonna go into what they want, so make sure you subscribe. They said, hi, if it's possible, I'd like a custom ASMR video with a past life analysis. So I'm gonna be channeling probably your past life as well for this video. So anything I say, anything that comes out of my lips, whatever resonates with you deep in your soul, that's the message for you, okay? Whispered or soft-spoken is fine. Also fine to use cards or crystals or anything that helps with your intuition. I'd like to learn about a past life of mine. Anything you can sense about it, whether in Atlantis or somewhere else. I can provide more information if it would be helpful. Also, it would be fine to post it on your channel, though I prefer not to mention my name. Thank you. All right. So, we're going to go into this past life analysis. So today I'm going to be working with tea leaves. This colorful tea leaves. I'm going to sprinkle some on the towel here later. So of course, as always, you can request your booking to be done in ASMR, no matter what booking you pick. Soft-spoken or whisper. Okay. So today actually I'm going to release a Labor Day coupon code. It's going to be valid for the next 24 hours only. And that coupon code will be Tony25. Tony25. Tony 25. Okay? Tony and the number 2 and the number 5. Tony25 for 25% off any of your services today only. So yeah, go use that on my website. All right. And of course I'm going to come out with the newsletter for it. So typically when you do a past life reading, you light a candle and you start with burning some incense or a smudging stick of your choice of any herb of your choosing. And this helps us open the portals, channels, and vessels to begin connecting with this past life. Just stare into the smoke for a bit. Allow your eyes to gaze and relax, and clearing the energies of the cards I've worked with, clearing my space, my template, my sound, to have a sound of mind, body, spirit, to begin connecting with this past life. Please allow me clarity to tap in, to relax my mind further, and breathing in the aroma of incense definitely does help you relax your mind. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Okay, let's begin channeling now. So, I'm going to start with the crystals. Now I'm going to tell you why I picked these crystals specifically. I call these my past life crystals because these are crystals that can help you connect with the past life. So I picked petrified wood. And petrified wood goes way back. It's the old earth, right? So sometimes we've had past lives as lava, as a blade of grass, as a storm, as an animal on ancient earth, you know. And sometimes we walked foot during the times of Jesus or ancient Egypt or even Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu, you know, all those civilizations, Tartaria, that have lived eons ago. Humans have been around longer than we think. So petrified wood helps connect with the old earth. I picked angel aura quartz because sometimes we lived lives evolved beyond human recognition, meaning the angelic, and we incarnate back into earth in human form to bring that light or learn more lessons. So honestly, I could be tapping into a future life, but in our recognition is still in the past. Spiralite, this helps connect with the dolphin and ocean sea life energies. So it's just a crystallized seashell. So this helps connect with crustacean life, cetaceans, and the like. This is Atlantisite. So of course, the name Atlantis gives it away. Seeing if we connect with those ancient civilizations. And the reason I pick sea life is because dolphins are, and even octopus, are one of the two creatures that are so unusual that people actually, even scientists, might claim that it could be otherworldly. So, of course, we want to channel that energy and see if there's a past life in another world in that way. Epidote reminds me of Jurassic Park. It definitely has that past life old connection. The dinosaur era. That's what it reminds me of. So it's more of like a personal pick for me. Lemurian blue calcite, of course, Lemuria. So anything that can help channel. And Himalayan gold azestolite. This channels the Azez alien beings. And it has such a high vibration. So these are all very, besides the petrified wood and the epidote perhaps, very high vibration crystals. So I'm going to just hold them now and begin closing my eyes and channeling. And I ask Spirit, God, Universe to please help guide me to connect with anonymous person, but I'm reading your name in my head. And Poopsie's watching at home, to connect with their energy at this time, their past life. Connecting with the client to see any past life that they may have had. Anything of relevance, not just any past life, anything that they should know about and how it relates to this present life in this moment. Please, through the crystals, allow me to channel their energies to bring about this past life connection for them. Thank you. So show me, guide me, lead me. Right now I'm seeing with eyes closed the sea. I'm definitely seeing the water right now. And it's a very similar color to the blue that we see in our sea when you go far out into the sea, not necessarily at the coastline. So that kind of deep blue, kind of like a lighter navy color. It's just a tad different than our water. It seems like this water has multiple layers to it and colors in it. So maybe there's like a sea green layer, and above it a baby blue, and above it a dark blue. So it's like an ocean with several layers, and it's almost, I almost want to say sticky. It's like a malleable substance that is sticky, and it helps life forms stick. So there's not actual like big creatures, there's actually miniature creatures. And I feel like that could have been one of your lives. It's one of those like little, they're not quite like amoebas, but almost, they're shaped kind of like starfish, and they kind of just float, and they're very happy. I feel this very happy energy. coming from this basic life form. But is it basic? That's what I ask, because they seem very intelligent. It's like the water sparkles and glistens and shines, especially there doesn't seem to be moonlight. It's a very dark planet at night, but during the daytime it's semi-bright. It never gets as bright as here, and I think this is why there's not much developed life. It feels like a watery planet. There are some landmarks and formations. However, I feel like I'm being shown this because not only has this anonymous person who booked this session been this life form, but also many of you as well. I see many of you are correlated like sisters. I get sister energy for some reason, and that's not gender. It defies the laws of gender or meaning of gender. It's like, ever hear, you're my soul sister? That's what it means. You could be a guy telling a guy, you're my soul sister. Sister has nothing to do with gender. I just want to make that very loud and clear for people who don't know. But it's almost like a sister energy, because we start off our chromosomes in the Y chromosome, right? The feminine, divine. That's how you give birth to life, is the divine feminine, of course. Everyone knows. But it's like you have shared sister chromosomes in that life and expanded upon each other. And it's not like a live traditional birth, how seahorses give birth, or humans give birth, or horses give birth, right? It's like you just kind of split off, kind of like a cell. You just split off from each other, and I'm hearing it was very painful to do that. But there's a lot of enjoyment by reproduction. So, I want to see just really quick what else I can channel. I am seeing animals. It feels like someone was a farmer of sorts. It honestly feels like modern times. I'm not surprised, because most people had to grow their own food. There were really no such thing as grocery stores for the longest time. So I'm seeing a man in like a straw hat, literally just like, this feels more modern times. And I'm seeing that grass out of their mouth, like they look very grisly, very well kept, but grisly appearance, meaning just tough exterior. They didn't have a tough life, but they were doing a lot of things. They're always busy. There are a lot of herds of animals to take care of. A lot. This is a big farm. This is very huge. A lot of acreage. And I'm getting the impression, like, if you ever feel like you want to be free or do things or have more space, like you feel like you need your space, this is why. It's because of this past life. Because you had all that space you got used to and loved. You were very attached to the land. You were observant. You had eyes like a hawk. And you could see if there was like a malicious animal coming from very far away. You had very good, healthy eyesight. You ate pretty well, but it feels like you eventually passed, like it could be like a liver problem, gallbladder maybe. There was something not quite yet in those times. In the spirit, I still get like 1860 to 1930, like something like that. So when I see something like this, and then I see what I saw earlier with the starfish-looking life form, again, the starfish were not like how you think they looked. Like they were very small. Like you almost couldn't even see it with the naked eye. This tells me you've had a lot of lives. I think that life also was very freeing because you were in the water floating. And I feel like you're showing these 2 lives because you were always very free. And maybe nowadays you're trying to connect with that freedom. and, tell others, that you need your space. But also by seeing this life, you realize that it's no more. This life is no longer. And you can make the connection now to say to yourself, okay, do I really need to feel this way, right? Do I have to keep connecting back to this past? Because, a lot of us look back in our past, but we forget about our past life as well, right? We don't want to keep looking back in our past life as well. It's just a reference point to really work through and say to yourself, all right, I've been through that. I can move on. I don't have to keep carrying that with me. So, if you have any pain in the chest, in the stomach area, in the back, that could be like a sign of that issue in your past. Just having an awareness of that is key to freeing yourself from that pain. So that's the point of past life work. But yeah, I think you were very happy in both lives. And I think that happiness carries over into this life. Maybe you feel naturally happy and content with things the way they are. So even though there's always room for improvement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull the cards before I make a mess with the tea leaves. Yeah, I'm going to pull the cards. That feels right. So I'll start with these cards. Oops, then I'll do the crystal card. Wow, this card actually made the candle blow out. That is so funny. There's something volatile here. Sorry, I hope that didn't scare you. There's something volatile here. This made the candle go out. There's a king of swords. There was a king that was very angry. He used his sword. I feel like he was like the type of king to be like, off with your head. So you may have had I'm getting, this is like I'm getting like 1400s, something like that. But this feels like another planet. This does not look like the world I recognize. And it doesn't feel like that. It feels otherworldly. It doesn't feel earthly of the sort. It was a very malicious world. I feel like people were very bitter and power hungry. But not power as we perceive it, but power in a different way. I don't know how that makes sense. I can't really calculate that in my mind or conceive that right now. Some things we just don't want to know. But you suffered. And I think this was like a person that was like off with your head, literally. In the literal sense, they like took the light out of you. Is this a person that's carrying that energy, playing that role, that karma into this lifetime? Is this a person that that's very mean-spirited, that's nasty? This is karma. There's a king that has heavy karma with you. A king in the past, but maybe they have dominion over your life today. We have Judgment, King of Pentacles, and Ten of Cups. They could have also taken the life of a family member of yours or prevented. It's either that or they prevented you from starting a family. I feel like they found out somebody was going to reproduce and they stopped it before it could occur. They didn't want overpopulation, I feel. They didn't want, they only wanted certain type of people in the village. It's the evil type that says, I only want blue eyes and purple hair. You know what I'm saying, right? Not the type that is really healthy in the mind, a very discriminatory energy. They ruled for a very uncomfortably long period of time. I'm hearing 34, 35. I feel like they almost hit 35th year and then they died. I think I'm seeing so much. It's like someone just like poked them in the heart with their own sword. Oh, that could mean they did it to themselves. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, I think they chose to end things because I see a flood. I feel like a flood deluged the village and they couldn't save their own people and they felt like this was their punishment. And so they just ended it. And I think they still were a being. I can't say human because it doesn't show like human. They were still a being with at least somewhat of a guilty conscience. They just masked it because they were playing a role. And so for a lot of people, I hear father in the spirit. This is your father in this life. Or in a past, I hear like 1920s. For some people, it was your father in the 1920s. And they were also kind of not nice, but they were a bit better, I think. And you guys worked out this karma in a healthier way. But there's something still with family. Some of you are infertile because of this connection. Because you believed so hard that you were not allowed to have children, that now you're infertile in this life. So again, you can let that go now. May you heal now, knowing that this was just the past. You don't have to carry the same energy in the future. Can you forgive this king for what they did to you? Does that make sense? You're just playing each other's karma. Everything's in balance. And now, maybe, just maybe, for some also I hear that the roles have reversed. And now you're the nasty one to that person because of how nasty they were to you. So it's not good or bad or right or wrong. It just is. You have to do that now. You have to play that role and be nasty to them because they were nasty to you. Does that make sense? Okay. It is what it is, right? Maybe you can let go of some of the nastiness, if that is the case. Maybe you have a lot of anger or aggression toward a person that you know those people you're like, I don't know why I hate them, but I just freaking hate them. I just don't like them at all. That's probably why they did something really wrong and nasty to you in your past. Okay, let's pick one more card. Temperance. Have patience with them. Have patience with yourself. I think this will allow you to evolve. This also shows me angels, so the angel wings. I figured there's someone here that's incarnate as an angel. There's angel wing as well in the judgment. There's a lot of angelic energy. I'm hearing in the spirit that you are actually watching yourself as an angel now. You're an angel incarnate, but at the same time human incarnate, and your angelic self is watching yourself from above right now to see what you do with yourself, what you do with your free time. I hear free time. Are you going to do something crazy and stupid when you're bored, right? Something like that. Are you going to continue sabotaging? Are you going to lose your connection to the light? It's like you wanted to see what you do if you go back, if a part of your soul breaks off and comes back here. And so have patience with yourself. In moments where you're not, remember to have patience. Your higher self is always watching. Okay? And remember, these lives are all at the same time. It's not neither in the past or the future. It's all past, future, and now. Right here at the same time. Can you conceive that? Because your soul breaks off naturally into many divisibles. So I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to pick one crystal card. I have the Crystal Tarot deck, which my beautiful boyfriend has lent to me once more. Is currently away on a short trip. Unfortunately, someone he knew passed away at a very young age, so may he rest in peace. But maybe they're coming through for a reason, but maybe someone's having like past loved ones now. What did I just tell you guys? Of all these cards, did I not see that water life? And now we're coming back to the water. There's something with the sea, especially a lot of you who are water signs in this life. There are no mistakes. You choose your birthday when you come here. You chose to be a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. Either sun, moon, or rising. I myself am a rising water sign, a Scorpio, right? So there's a reason. There's that. I've always had that water connection too. I love swimming pools and oceans and lakes and rivers. Just even like taking long showers. Like just something about water that's so satisfying. I used to play with water a lot as a kid. So I feel that here it's talking to me, but also a lot of you who are connected to water. And again, look at they're reminding me back to the Temperance card. Look at that water stream right there. You need to be in water to connect with your past in a healthier way, okay? You need to be around a source of water. You need to live around water. You need to live around a stream, an ocean. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm getting goosebumps. Okay, so I picked here to have the bastet and the obelisk to have like ancient Egypt, like past life kind of connection too. Look at this. I thought, let's ignore Florida. I thought this looked like Egypt, like too, as well. So look at the water. I picked this wooden postcard intuitively. And it's telling me now to tell you, it's like writing a letter to your past self. What would you say to your past self? Whether in Lemuria, whether in Atlantis, whether in ancient Egypt, or that farmer, or that starfish water creature. What would you say to your past self? Or in that king's lifetime, what would you say? What would your letter be? I encourage you all to write a letter to your past self. Water, emotional, intuition, psychic powers, and healing. Again, emotional, it's about the emotions, your intuition, your psychic powers, and healing. We're using psychic abilities and intuition right now to channel, are we not? Is this not healing for you? Is this not triggering an emotion in you, you know? And I hear also it could be Atlantis, because Atlantis fell underwater. Atlantis did not start, or certainly there were some parts that may have been underwater, but it fell. Again, the deluge, it went underwater, just like that king. There's something with water, okay? Now they're telling me about the king's life. The village was flooded. There's something here with water that's cleansing and healing. It's almost like that flood was a blessing, and you passed away in that life from the flood. It was a blessing. You got away from the evil king. You know, even though he, you know, did something bad to you, I think you still incarnated again in that same village. The lesson wasn't done. And I'm getting, just activate that water. You know, even if you have a fish tank at home, or you just, you know, go see. Oh my God, they're showing me something again. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I literally, for no reason whatsoever, I was looking at this video I had on my phone when I went to the Key West this morning. Can you believe that crap? Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Wow, they're reminding me of that now. There's a connection there. Maybe some of you were turtles. Again, there's something here with the sea. A lot of sea life. You were a lot of sea lives. Does that make sense? A lot of animals that were living in the sea. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go in with the final portion of this session, and let me know if you like this. And again, when you book on TonyBomboni.com, you can request a crystal reading, a tarot reading, a crystal card reading. You can request an herb reading. You know, I'm not just limited to tarot. I hope you know that. It's your paid session. So I'm going to go ahead and grab as much as I can. I hate to waste this tea, but, you know. The things I do for you guys. That's like $5 right there. Okay. So. Let's begin channeling. Wow, so I'm getting this big energy of like twos. Like you are two beings at the same time, alive on the same planet at the same time. Like a twin. Again, like this time it feels more like brother-sister energy, but it's like just a twinsy energy of you were two beings, like big, broad, almost like ogre looking beings, like big, chubby, muscular, like big beings, and even bigger than the biggest ogre you could think of, like big, huge, tall, and like Titan tall, you know. And I'm getting there was a disease. There was something like with brown. It was like a brown color. It was like a worm or something that got in people's skin. It was causing like an infestation, and it wiped out many of that. So that's why they're no longer here today or heard about. I feel like it's Earth. I almost feel like it's Earth. You worked with a lot of salt salt was your currency, but it was like a yellow salt. It was like fresh, raw, pure, unfiltered salt. Your salt looked different back then. It wasn't like the white you see today. I don't know why I see yellow salt. Is salt naturally yellow? I have no clue. This is just what I'm channeling. I don't know. This could be another world, but it feels earthly. It might have an earthly aura or vibe to it. I'm getting also there were twin beings because there's twin planets. So there was another planet orbiting near you. And so life itself. So I guess this wasn't Earth, unless it was early Earth. But I'm getting that it's like everything was double, like a duplicate world, okay? And it went on for eons. It went on for as long as it could go on. I've heard like 2 to 12 million years, I would say. Maybe 12 million years. That makes more sense. Lives were very long. One lifetime itself was very, one life might have been maybe 100,000 years. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. These beings are big. So something that big doesn't just die that quickly. And there were huge ceremonies and burials when someone would pass on. There was a huge, eventful celebration. Someone's name started with the letter S. I feel like there were a lot of different similar beings as Earth, like owls or snakes or reptiles, but they had a different inside, like a different organ system, okay? Like snakes actually had organs, something like that, rather than just being the way they are. There were many people who didn't agree with each other's views, and so they all lived scattered. There were very much scattered villages and territories here. There was a female spirit, not a living being, but I guess living in terms of physical. It was more a spirit being that would haunt others and not leave people alone. And people were told not to go in the forests, in the wilderness. It was not forest, like there were no trees. I feel like it was just like a barren, desolate landscape, but it still had coverings, shadows, and they lurked in the shadows. And they could multiply, and they could be at several places at the same time. And they would haunt the inhabitants, and people were saying that if someone got haunted, that was their almost like karmic judgment or punishment for doing someone wrong. Because there was like a guilt-free way of living. Everyone was free to do as they wish, including harm others, and there was no punishment for that. But the punishment was this spirit. So I think people wanted to try to get rid of this spirit energy, and it backfired on them and caused this illness to occur. So how is that portrayed in this life? What is backfiring on you now? What do you feel like you had to repay? Do you feel like maybe you perhaps were living a certain way that, led you having a guilty conscience to begin with, and that feels wrong and not necessary anymore? And it's not that it's wrong. It's just, if something feels wrong, it's probably no longer serving you anymore, and you should let that go. Maybe some of you feel like you're being seen or heard a lot, which is a good sign. That comes from this life, this big stature. Of course, when you walk by, you're seen, you're heard loud and clear. There's nothing really wrong here. I just think there's a fear of plague in general. I think we all fear disease, discomfort, and so it stems from this life as well for many of you. And again, many of you have lived. These feel like, again, small, like they're like islands, but they're break off into islands as well. Like the whole continent was just like two big islands breaking off into islands. So the more you zoom into this island, the more you find islands in those islands. And then there's little scattered islands all throughout that they're showing me the landscape. It's like there were different soil colors as well. There were different textures. You ate more like hard, raw, fleshy, vegetable type substances rather than actual food. There was no manure. That was not how you excreted waste. It was like more just everything was replicating in itself and getting rid of, like, it's almost like it comes out of your skin, your pores, the toxins from the body. And I think that's why people grew so big, because they kept eating and growing big. The more you ate, the more bigger you grew. So it's like it almost never stopped. The growth never really stopped. But just because you were bigger doesn't mean you had to eat more. That was the beauty of that digestive system. You ate the same your whole life. You could just live on one of these, I hear like rock, or something like that. It was like a raw fleshy substance that's like a vegetable root or something. And it grows from the ground, but you have to dig in the soil to excavate it outwards. Nothing grows above the ground for some reason. Again, that's why the desolate landscape and appearance. There were some shoes or sandals, as you'd call, but again, made from purely the heavens. I feel like the heavens were sending down material to these people in some way. I feel like maybe that means like when the rain hardens on the rock, it creates like a layer, and they can make things out of that layer that's sticky. There's like not sticky, rubbery substance that envelops once it touches the soil, and chemically the compounds mix and formulate into something different. I feel like these beings also were not originally from here. They were shipped, imported here. They were sent off because they scared the other people. They were originally from another world, but they were shipped here because they were scaring the people. So, that will have to be the conclusion for your reading today. Wonderful. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you for watching, listening. If you want a past life reading of your own, TonyBomboni.com, where I can channel you. Many others, okay? That was fun. Take care, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you liked, and I will see you soon.